Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Higgins coming to you with our Wealth Boost Worldwide mission to provide individuals worldwide with the tools to enhance their lives, achieve their dreams, and build massive wealth. You know what? We are salespeople and we are a sales team. We do not sell products, goods, or services. We sell people on the infinite possibility of their lives and the power of their dreams. We sell people on never giving up because we know this is a noble cause. So if you're a guest on the line today, get back with the person sharing this great information with you. Thank you so much. All right. Hello, everybody. Hey, this is Daniel Higgins coming to you live. We got some great content for everybody today, tonight, this afternoon. Thank you for joining. I see we got people hanging out. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube along with Twitter. So thank you for hanging out today. Today's a special occasion. This is an observance of Juneteenth, along with sharing a little bit of a success journey of Mr. George Washington Carver. I just had to highlight some of the key things in his amazing life. You see a picture of him there. He single-handedly did some things that were just epic and amazing, and he did it in the midst and in the face of so much adversity, right? In the midst of slavery, in the midst of so many different obstacles. So we're going to discuss a little bit of that and just point you in the direction of, hey, listen, you can manifest your goals and dreams similar to Mr. Carter, right? Of course, in observance of Juneteenth, I want to celebrate and thank everyone that's hanging out today, tonight, this afternoon. And of course, it's a special time celebrating freedom. Freedom is the most important thing, and it's an amazing thing that people always want to glean towards and move towards, right? So I'm reading a little bit from Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. I highly encourage everybody on the sound of my voice to get a copy of Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, right? Every Juneteenth and really almost every few days or so, I'm always encouraging people to get that book. Why? Because it spotlights several different African Americans and how they became successful. So you can learn from their experiences and not have to go through those same experiences, right? Now, here's one thing. He is the scientist and inventor that has been labeled the greatest agricultural scientist the country's ever produced. So Carver was a former slave. Now, he has been credited with single-handedly transforming the pattern of agriculture throughout the South. And you know that was bread and butter, right? That was the industry of the time, right? So he was such a big impact. Now, this is his words exactly as a child. As a child, this amazing person that we just talked about that single-handedly transformed the pattern of agriculture directly from Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. This is what he said. He traded me off for a horse. He's speaking directly about one of his slave owners. When he was a child, his slave owner said, hey, listen, this would be a good business deal for me to trade him for a horse. Man. Mr. George Washington Carver, he was born in 1964, two slave parents, right? In Diamond Grove, Missouri. And that was one of his earliest things that he could remember or recall was the death of his father, right? And kidnapping of himself and his mother by slave traders in the last years of the Civil War. This is the gentleman that I just said had the biggest impact in transforming the whole pattern of agriculture. This is the beginnings of his success journey. Being kidnapped, father killed, mother traded. He was separated from his mother and they did not reconnect. Yeah, wow is an understatement, right, Miss Daphne? Thank you for joining. So whenever you have a success journey, whenever you have an idea that you want to pursue, just know that the obstacles are going to come. Now, be thankful that your obstacles won't be slavery, right? Be thankful that your obstacles won't be that type of adversity. He never saw his mother again. And that racehorse that he was sold for was valued around $300. So at that time, his life, in the eyes of that slave trader, was only worth $300. Man, that's beyond upsetting, right? A human life valued at $300 over a horse. Wow. Now, later on in life, they got freed by the 13th Amendment. But as you know, when you get freed, they're not giving you a separation package, right? That didn't exist, right? There was no separation package. There was no severance pay, right? So what did he have to face? He had to face all those disadvantages connected to poverty, connected to ignorance, right? Connected to all those disadvantages associated, right? Now, one interesting thing that Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice mentioned is that towards that time, he had a very big thirst for knowledge, right? Very big thirst for knowledge. Now, another disadvantage is, listen, you don't have a teacher at 12 or 13 as a slave, as a freed person. So what did he do? He borrowed an old spelling book. He borrowed an old spelling book and started to teach himself. Now, during this time, he started working and studying every night until he could figure out and put money together to go to school, Iowa State. After his graduation, he started researching and specializing in agriculture. So much to the point where the students loved him. He had a passion for what he did. That insatiable search for knowledge led him towards a path. So he became known as a plant doctor, right? He had that AKA, the plant doctor. And that's just beautiful. So you see, scientist, inventor, right? In the midst of slavery and adversity and trials, he had an idea, because all of the things that he was exploring got the attention of several people. So Booker T. Washington called Carver and ended up connecting him to his life work in Tuskegee Institute. Now, at that time, the crop rotation, that was non-existent. So the approach of rotating crops didn't exist until he stepped in and started to do that. So what was his methods? What he was trying to do? He said simply he would set out for one goal: to improve the condition of the soil. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because of his journey, because of his study, because of his time, he started understanding how to replenish soil. He was the only one that understood this, right? Because of him understanding this, he knew that sweet potatoes and peanuts would put nutrition back into the soil, right? So during his success journey, he learned that. But what's going on? Peanuts were considered useless at that time. So he started using, and this is huge, he started using stuff that people thought was useless. He started using something that was overlooked, something that was commonplace, something that people were overlooking. He started using that and learned how to create several things from the peanut. All in all, he found over 300 uses for peanuts. One of the uses he found was something to be prepared to fight against infantile paralysis from peanuts, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing to me because as I read Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, again, African American history is truly just part of history, American history. It shouldn't be separate, right? It should be integrated. That's a whole nother conversation, right? And then he even found 118 different items and uses for sweet potatoes. One of the things he said is that he promised himself he would bring credit to his race, regardless of the sacrifices and personal humiliation. Because during that time, even though he was getting drawn in different locations and people wanted to hear from him, he was still in the midst of separation, coloreds and black. So when he was requested to speak at certain events, he wasn't even able to stay in a hotel that they organized for him. Isn't that crazy? And then, of course, the people of his day understood his talents and started trying to, of course, pull him into their agendas, right? You know, not maliciously, but wanting to be connected to him. So Thomas Edison even sent an assistant to Tuskegee to try and persuade Carver to work in Hudson's laboratory at a 6-figure salary. This is straight from Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. If you do not have this book, I encourage you to get this book. Learning the success journey of so many individuals from African American descent is extremely empowering, right? Extremely empowering. It should be required reading for everyone, really, because it walks you through so many things that people had to overcome through slavery, along with success principles that every single person can emulate. So one of the key things that Think and Grow Rich is pulling out of this amazing person's story is that he always would concentrate on a single idea. He would go through a goal setting process. He would focus in and make sure that he was giving attention to that one idea. So this is his words exactly. He said, first, you must get an idea about a given thing. Then you must attempt to determine its cause. So you just would scientifically approach things and really, really dial in and focus in, right? So listen, I don't know what your goals and dream are. I don't know what you're facing, but I do want to encourage you to get back with the person sharing this content with you. Yes, we went over a success story of someone who may be lost in history, so to speak, if we don't focus in on and continue to share great content, right? So definitely get that book, Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. It will encourage you reading success stories from people who were successful in the midst of segregation, in the midst of being slaves. Man, whew, it does something to you. So thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out today, tonight, this afternoon. Absolutely get back with the person sharing this content with you. I know Miss Daphne is here hanging out. Barney is here hanging out. So get back with these sharp individuals because, like I said at the beginning, we're part of Wealth Builders Worldwide. We want to encourage people, put a spotlight on a lot of different success principles so that you could pick them up, glean them, and then move forward for your success journey, okay? So thank you, everybody. Get that book, Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, right? No matter what your ethnicity, there are life lessons in there that will encourage you and help you move forward. We got our hands on something that's just amazing with Gold Standard Partners and GS Partners. So you want to get back with that person who's sharing this content with you. This is a glimpse of Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. Absolutely. Get this book, all right? I'm not getting a stipend or a kickback or any of that. It's just great quality content that you could get for just a few dollars on Amazon. All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Daphne. But guys, get back with that person. Thank you so much for hanging out today, tonight, this afternoon. Yes, this has been a special presentation, very much focused on celebrating Juneteenth, celebrating freedom, and highlighting the life of Mr. Carver, the scientist who shifted agriculture and started that rotation of agriculture and we don't want him to be lost in the sauce, so to speak. And we want to also honor what he's done. All right. Thank you, everybody. You guys have a good night, day, afternoon. We'll see you on the next live stream.